Shalom, family. This is Or Ibri, author of Making Your Enemy Your Footstool, consultant and investor. And I want to come to you today with a video about a topic that I was discussing on Instagram. So earlier today, one of the followers that I follow, also another author, an individual who follows me, Shelby, he posed a question on Instagram in regards to being in a state to where you were teetering on the edge of life or death, and what caused you to choose life. So when he posed that question, it took me back to a time in which I was on that edge and just going through that. Now, it took me a while to want to talk about this subject because this is a very delicate subject, a very sensitive subject. However, being in the time that we're in, and a lot of individuals who are dealing with depression and dealing with thoughts of suicide, or just dealing with not knowing how to cope or handle or move in the day-to-day world, I thought that this would be a great help to them. So when I was going through what it was that I was going through, first off, I want to state there are a lot of individuals who are dealing with severe cases of depression where you need professional help, where you may need medication, where you may need further steps outside of what it is that I'm giving. I don't want anyone to think that I'm saying what I did and what I'm giving you as information or as advice is the end all be all. I'm not naive enough to say that. But what I am going to tell you is what worked for me. So in my state and what I was going through, it was very unique. I know a lot of people, they have whatever reason they are on why they're teetering between life and death, aka contemplating suicide. So one of my reasons was I did not feel loved. So I know a lot of people feel like no one loves them, no one likes them. I knew I was a very loved individual. I knew I was a very respected individual. I knew that a lot of people looked up to me for guidance. I knew that a lot of people took everything that I said as wisdom, and a lot of people would be upset and sad if I left. I wasn't one of those people that were like, oh, no one's gonna miss me. I know the impact that I have on this world. But at that time, I was just in a very bad place. Life had gotten to a point to where I had almost hit rock bottom. And the crazy thing was I hadn't even hit rock bottom at that point. I had actually hit rock bottom later on. But at this particular point, I just felt like life just, basically, I felt like I was inadequate. I felt like I was ill-equipped. I felt like I was defaulted. I felt like I was severely deficient. And then I felt like I had come so far in life that there was no way I could turn it around. Like, I felt like if I just had the opportunity to start over, then I can do that. But where I was at in my life, there was no turning back. That's how I felt. So on the day in which I actually did, came to the thought, made the plans and whatnot, it was on a Sabbath. I was at Sabbath service, and I was actually outside in the parking lot. Like, for whatever reason, like that entire morning, I was boohoo crying. I was uncontrollably crying. I couldn't stop myself from crying. And I actually was out in the parking lot writing my suicide letters. I had wrote 3 letters, one to my wife, one to my children, and one to everyone else. Even at that time, even me having children, I just felt like I wasn't adequate as a father for them. They would be better off with me dead. Like, I had a lot of irrational thoughts. And so I continued writing the letters. And when people would walk by, I would try to hold myself together. But here's the thing about when you are an impactful individual. Everyone that walked by me that day in that parking lot knew something was wrong with me. They knew I was off. And this is commendable for the individuals who love me and who pour into me to know when I'm off. And I hadn't said anything. Like, I was wiping away my tears when I would walk by. People would say, hey, you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. But they just could sense, and every single person could sense there was something wrong with me. But I was in a deep place of pain. At that time, I just wanted to end it all, and I had made a whole plan. The only part about my plan that was faulty was I didn't know how I wanted to do it, because I knew how I wanted to do it. I just didn't want my wife to walk in and find her husband dead. So I actually told my wife, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm not telling you to stop me. I'm telling you so that way it's not a surprise to you when it happens. She was very distraught. Seeing her distraught, that really broke me. And so I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this to her. And here's the thing also. This is why this is so important. I knew I had a lot of individuals who loved me. I knew I had a lot of individuals who cared about me immensely. But the thing is, it doesn't matter who loves you and how much love they pour into you. If you don't love yourself first, what anyone else has to offer you, it doesn't matter. You have to love self first in order for you to properly accept the love that others have to give. So in that instance, I had to figure out, what is it that I can do differently? So then I went and I took an inventory of my life. And as I looked back over my life, I realized I had not been living the life that I wanted to live. I had not been doing the things that I wanted to do. Everything that I had done up to that point was for someone else. Even me, as a kid growing up, playing basketball. I didn't like playing basketball, but I'm 6'9". So it was automatically like, you're going to play basketball. And I wanted to do, it's not even that I didn't want to play basketball. I just wanted to do other things as well. And those other things were not afforded to me to be able to do, because I was always told I had to focus on basketball. So moving forward, I ended up in relationships. I'm a nice, giving individual. I love to help other individuals. But I found myself in relationships with women that I was in a relationship to help them more than me actually wanting to be in the relationship. So I would end up in relationships with individuals I really didn't want to be in a relationship with. I was doing things that I didn't want to do. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know myself. I didn't know who I was, or what my quote unquote purpose was, or even what my strengths were. I didn't know anything about myself. I was just living life. I was being very reactive to life as opposed to being proactive to life. So then I said to myself, Virgil, have you done everything you can to live the life that you want to live? Before you go ahead and end this thing, have you done everything you can? And I was honest with myself, and I realized I had not done everything that I could to live the life that I wanted to live. So I said to myself, we're going to do everything we can to live the life we want to live. We're not going to become selfish, but we will become more of self. I was the type of individual that if you came to me and you said, hey, I need $100 and all I have is $100 left, I would give you my entire $100. As opposed to giving you, say, hey, I ain't got 100, I got 30. There was a lot of things where I was giving more of myself to individuals, and I wasn't getting what I felt like I needed to be getting in return. And just, I didn't love myself. I didn't see my value. So once I made that decision, hey, before we do this thing, before we go ahead and check on out, we're going to do everything we can in our power to live our life that we want to live. And the thing was, I was in a deep hole. Here's the thing. I made that decision. And by me making that decision, I had to turn around. However, I was in a hole. My whole life, I was in a hole. So I had to first stop digging. Now, when you're in a hole, you have to climb out the hole. It's hard to climb out the hole. So I would find myself trying to climb out, and things would happen, and I would kind of slip back into that mindset. But then I would stop myself. I'd be like, hey, we haven't done everything we can yet. Can't think like that. Have we done everything we can? Have we honored? We haven't. Haven't done this. I haven't done that. I haven't done this. I haven't done that. Haven't even discovered who I am. And as I continue to move forward and press forward, and I would have down days, and my wife would even come to me and, hey, we can talk. And I told her one day, I said, look, I appreciate you wanting to talk. I said, but the time for talking is over with. Like, I can sit here and talk about my feelings and emotions, but I already know what they are. I don't need to talk. I don't want to talk. I appreciate it. And it's not that I'm trying to hide anything or don't have good communication, but I need to start doing, because all talking does is put me in the headspace where I don't want to be at. I just need to keep every day putting one step forward, one step forward, one step forward. And I continue to do that, and I continue to press forward, and I continue to move forward. And whenever obstacles came, instead of me allowing myself to get into a negative space, I would work to overcome the obstacle. And every time I overcame the obstacle, I would gain confidence in myself. And then I just continued to pour into myself. Then I figured out who I was as an individual. And I started taking personality surveys. In my book, I put, taking personality surveys. I put discovering who you are, your strengths, your weaknesses, all of these things. And what I found out when I was doing these things was there were a lot of things that for so long I thought were a problem, but they weren't. They were who I am. They were who I am as an individual. And for other people, that might have been a problem, but that no longer had anything to do with me. It's about my life and what works for me and what's good for me and the gifts that I have been given to give to everybody else. And then I got out of this thought process that I had to have everyone like me. Sometimes when you don't love yourself, you try to get love from everybody else to try to fill that void, but there's nothing you can do to fill that void from anyone else. You have to do it yourself. And I know one of the scriptures that I read that really helped me kind of understand that and get through to that is when Yahushua, what you call Jesus, said, my sheep will hear my voice. My sheep will know my voice. And so I started looking at it like, okay, individuals who aren't feeling what I'm saying, or individuals who may have a problem with me, or individuals who can't relate to what I'm saying, they're just not a part of my fold. And that's okay, because everyone isn't a part of your fold. But those that are a part of your fold, they will hear what you're saying, and what you have to say will resonate with them, and you'll be able to change their life. I'm not worried about those that I was not sent here for. Those that I am sent here for, those that I was placed here for, those that were created to be under my wing, to allow me to help them grow and put others up beneath their wings, they'll understand exactly what I'm saying. Anybody else is not important, and that goes for any aspect in life. I'm not here to please everyone. I'm here to please those in which I was created to please for. So that helped me kind of stop searching for love outside of self and really build up self, because it's like, okay, I was put here for specific people, so I need to be the best version of myself for those individuals, because they can't be the best versions of themselves if I'm not the best versions of myself. If I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, they can't get what they need. Just like people who poured into me before, if they weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing, then I couldn't get what I needed. So I had to give what had been given to me. So I just started focusing on building myself up, figuring out who I was, figuring out my strengths, figuring out my weaknesses, pushing forward. Whenever an obstacle would hit, I wouldn't look at the obstacle or the problem as a problem. I would look at it as a puzzle. How can I solve this? How can I allow this situation to make me better? Right now I'm on the bench of life. I'm lifting weights. Somebody just put 4 more 45-pound weights on the bar. How can I get this weight up so that I can become stronger? That's how I started looking at problems. And little by little, I started solving them. And little by little, I started overcoming the things that were bothering me. And little by little, I started changing what it was that was bothering me. And little by little, I continued to grow. And little by little, I continued to educate myself. And the things in which I felt I wasn't doing, I didn't make excuses. I got it done. And here's the thing. There's a scripture in the book of Deuteronomy where the Most High says, I call heaven and earth now to witness against you. So here's the great thing. When I put myself in this headspace, when I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing, my mind would check me. So I would have heaven and earth witnessing against me. I had myself witnessing against me. And so I couldn't allow myself to go into a depressed state because I knew I wasn't doing what I needed to be doing. If I wanted to stay out of the depressed state, do what I know I needed to do. That's what worked for me. Do what I know I needed to do. I was depressed because I wasn't doing what I know I needed to do. I started doing those things. I started having more discipline, self-discipline. I started keying in more on being consistent. All of these things, and I fell short at times, but instead of beating myself up because I didn't achieve the goal or reach the goal or I fell short or whatever, instead of beating myself up, I then took on a mindset of, okay, what did I do wrong? Where can I improve? And what can I do to be better? Once I started doing that, then it helped me stay in a positive mindset because there's no need for me to beat myself up when I have an opportunity to make it right again. And then when I make it right, I don't allow myself to make the same mistake again. And maybe I'll make the mistake again. But I continue to critique, positively critique. Okay, where did I go wrong? Okay, where can I fix? Okay, was it my effort? Was it my inconsistency? Like, what was it? And then I fixed those things. And then it allowed me to do and be where it is that I need to be. So it allowed me to operate in that space that I'm in now, to where I am a lot more secure in myself mentally. And yes, we all have our days. Like, don't let nobody sit out here and try to tell you every day's supposed to be perfect and every day's supposed to be easy and every day's supposed to be grand. It's not. You're going to have some dog days. You're going to have some dog days. You're going to have some days where you're just like, man, I'm not feeling it right now. But those are the days that you really have to pick yourself up, self-analyze, self-assess, and then move forward. Or those are the days that you may have to take a day to yourself. Sometimes, man, I'm not feeling work today. Go take you a mental health day. It's okay. It will be okay. It will be okay. Now, if this is a continuous problem, seek help. But if it's here and there, like, understand, you're not going to be perfect. It's okay. Your goal is not to be perfect. Your goal is to be whole. As long as you're operating in your whole self, not your perfect self, your whole self, you will be by far over and above in abundance. So I just wanted to let you all, know that side of me. Let me know maybe what are some things that you're struggling with. Put it in the comment section below. Let me know some of the things that you're going through, that you're dealing with, that you maybe need some help walking through. Maybe need some help kind of brainstorming. Some people, they can't figure out the exit when they're inside the fire. I may be able to see a door that you can't see. Or someone that you know and love and trust may be able to see a door that you can't see. Talk, open your mouth. But you do have individuals who are here to help you. You just have to seek the help. You have to do the work. It's going to be work. You're inside a hole. You're in a hole that's above your head. Your head is below the top of the hole. So you're going to have to work to pull yourself out. It's going to be work, but it's going to be worth it. So go out, purchase the book, Making Your Enemy Your Footstool. Go get your copies now if you have not already gotten your copies. If you have gotten your copies, go share the book with 3 other people who you have not told the book about already. The book is not for me. The book is for other individuals. The book is to help other people with where they're at so that way they can move up and stop being taken advantage of and take advantage of the system that is built to take advantage of them. Mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally. So with that, I say peace and shalom. You'll have a beautiful day and enjoy your Sabbath coming up.